Hi everyone, it's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. I am so delighted you're here with me today. And because of so many of you that I work with who have told me over and over again about feeling lonely, about feeling disconnected from perhaps people that you've known for a long time, and often having difficulty even within your family, that you feel that should really be the sacred space. What's going on here? How come my family doesn't seem to be supporting me in my spiritual journey? And why are they not interested in going on their own? So let's take a look at what my helpers have to share with us and just dive in to this subject. So we're talking about why do I feel so disconnected and what can I do about it? And they begin. Dear ones, so many of you are feeling disconnected at the moment because you're shifting polarities as you learn how to expand into additional dimensions. In other words, you're not fully present in any of the dimensions you now occupy, and it's causing you to feel rootless and ungrounded, as though you cannot find a secure place to lay your head. Now, those of you who are heavily into this changing energy, this shifting energy, and you are aware and you are inviting more of it, you must understand that all of you is not in any one of these dimensions completely yet. You have left the third dimension to some degree. You have entered the fifth dimension to some degree, and part of you is even exploring further dimensions. So you're not fully anchored in anywhere at the moment. That's okay. But it will make you feel a little bit rootless. And if you're not careful, it can make you difficult to be around. So that's just an FYI. This is when we really have to practice being the peaceful, forgiving, grateful, totally loving, unconditionally loving, focused being. Does not mean you allow people to take advantage of you, to walk over you, or to hurt you. It just means that you are living your life without judgment so that others can look at you without judgment in return. This feeling of being nowhere and everywhere, if not addressed, causes an underlying layer of low-level anxiety, which in turn, if not addressed and stabilized, will escalate. That's why I was saying you can be difficult to get along with if you're not paying attention to how your energy is being shared with others and how you are managing your own energy. Right now, you may be feeling disconnected, but if you do not ground and support your energetic self as it's emerging into the higher dimensions, the low-level anxiety will blossom into paranoia. These are the occasions when you feel like everyone's talking about me behind my back. They're saying things about me. They're judging me. That may be true. Perhaps they really are discussing you behind your back. Why does it matter? If those people cannot accept you for who you are, you need to start making decisions about how much they need to be in your life, how much they need to know about your life. As you drift further and further away from center, from your divine connection, you will feel less stable and less connected. The remedy is to return home to your heart and to deepen your connection to the divine So you'll remember who you are, why you're here, and learn how you can go about sharing your gift with others. So as always, we don't get off the hook by saying, oh, poor thing, that's so mean of them. They are always telling us what is our responsibility, what are we supposed to be doing. And they say that and insist on that because we cannot control the other person. As much as we would like to, we have no control over what another person thinks or feels. We can only get right with ourselves. And the way to do that is to go back into the heart space and connect with God. Connect with Source. Receive that divine inspiration and guidance. And all of that paranoia and all of that fear will gradually fade away as you deepen through the heart your connection with the divine. Each one of you must remember two things. First, you are a part of an energetic collective. No matter how far you run or how much you close yourself off, you cannot outrun or completely close yourself off from the energetic realm and the divine. You are not the only energy in existence, nor are you the infinite intelligence, which brings us to the second part. You are unique. But before we look at your uniqueness, let us understand that you cannot separate from Source. It is impossible. You are energy. Yes, we live in houses we call our physical bodies. However, the greater part of you that expands far beyond this physical shell is energy, and the energy intermingles. There is the signature part that is you, that's uniquely you, and then there is the collective of which you are a part, where your energy intermingles with all other energy. This is why it is so important to remember what you do, what you think, what you say affects another person as well as you. And if you want to have the greatest impact for yourself and for others, proceed with loving kindness. Loving kindness is one of those things that will never get you in trouble. So whenever possible, proceed with loving kindness. Now, back to being special. Each one of you is special. Yes, you share an energetic collective, but within that sphere, you have your own unique signature, life journey, and gifts to share. There are no exceptions to these statements. No one is left out. It's impossible. No one can be completely cut off. Again, it's impossible. And everyone, that includes you, is here for a reason and a purpose. No one has come just to be alive. Everybody has a life journey, a reason, and a purpose, and I'm going to take it even further and explain. You also have something, a gift that is uniquely yours that you are supposed to share. It won't look like mine. It won't look like your neighbor's. It will be yours, and it's something only you can do. That sounds crazy, so let me refine that a minute. There can be many, many doctors. It's not that just one person gets to come here and be a doctor or a healer or a teacher or whatever it is that you want to be. But you have a unique way of doing the thing that you want to do, being the healer, the doctor, the teacher. You have a signature style that is just your own. It's the way that you're going to feel most comfortable, the way that will flow best for you. Now, returning to our loneliness issue. Therefore, when you feel yourself drifting off and becoming unmoored from your foundation, it's time to be aware and alert and take responsibility for every step of your life journey. So, even though people may be drifting away from you, you don't have to feel like you're on an ice floe in Alaska drifting out to sea. Understand, hey, I'm feeling a little lost and alone. What can I do about it? Well, when you feel yourself withdrawing from the world to hide in your bubble of make-believe, whether it be videos, apps, games, books, or any other habit, this is all of the stuff that we do to distract ourselves. You must first stop and check with yourself. Some amount of disconnected downtime is healing and necessary. Notice they said some. You will know if you're being honest with yourself when you are just completely taking a powder and trying to get away from whatever it was you were supposed to do, and when you really needed that moment away from whatever you were doing. Other times you're running away from a growth opportunity into a delusion, the delusion that small is safe, that you can be insignificant, that you're nothing special, or that you have nothing to offer. And we went over that a little bit prior. But let's please understand, so many are trying to hide right now because so much is going on, so much change and so much growth. And it's a little overwhelming. And people are trying to play small. It's not going to work. Embrace who you are. When you're running from your authentic self, you're running toward troubles, addictions, and some serious life lessons. In the past, you were able to run further for longer without hitting those brick walls of awareness. But as the collective shift in consciousness continues, the energetic realm is closer and more accessible, so you have less room to drift. Okay, so before you might look back on your life and say, well, I got away with all this stuff before. How come it seems to hit me so much more quickly? Well, the energetic realm, our access to the energetic realm and the energetic realm itself have conspired so that now the realm is closer and our access is more immediate. It's even easier. So it's time for accountability and responsibility. Those of you who have chosen to be on the planet at this time knew going in that you would represent the first wave of change. You knew you would be held accountable and that you'd reach higher heights and make greater gains, or you'd ignore the inner promptings and fall further than ever before. Okay, guys. We are in it. We are in the thick of this responsibility. But we cannot say, we can't wake up and start having a pity party and saying, this is too hard, I want to quit, because they're going to come right back and say, you knew going in you were one of the first to ride the waves of change. You knew this was going to be tough, and we gave you the tools before you entered. Find a teacher and learn how to use those tools. Don't cry self-pity. We're not going to accept it. We ask that you say yes to personal and collective success. Remember, they told us this is the time when you can climb higher than you've ever climbed before. But we can also fall further. I think most of us who are on this journey have fallen pretty low. I want to help each one of you by encouraging you to climb higher than you've ever climbed before. You'll all go further faster together as long as you embrace the energy and spirit of cooperation. We are leaving behind the energy of competition. That was the world we used to live in. Now, as a collective, as a group of like-minded people, those of you who gather every week for this call, those of you who are open and excited about being all you can be, we will all go further, faster together as we encourage each other. Because when we join like-minded energy and it is fueled by love, it becomes so much more than what we could have been as individuals. It's like an exponential kind of benefit that happens when people of like minds are joined together. Unfortunately, that also happens if you're in the negative sphere. Now, we're not there, so we're not going to worry about it. But just realize that when you're in a group and people start gossiping or getting really negative, it can create a life of its own and become bigger than it could have ever been if you were by yourself. But we're going to stay in this space of unconditional love and be excited about all that we are gaining because of that. But now they're going to go back and address the feeling of being disconnected from friends and family, because that's really where we started. They, of course, always teach us about our responsibility, but they want to address really why you're asking the question. So this is a separate issue with a different underlying cause. The fix is always the same, but the cause of the distress will vary and must be identified and understood. Be certain that you do the work of identifying and then understand the why. It's very difficult to get forward progress on anything when you don't know why something is happening or what is actually happening. So find out what's causing you to feel badly, and then why do you think you feel this way? Why are you feeling this way? What are you hoping to gain through your actions and beliefs? How is it serving you to continue with this pattern? What are you getting out of it is what you need to ask yourself. You must do the detective work of why before you can do the healing work of the heart. But at some point, all progress must be accomplished through a healed heart. If you've got all of this garbage in the way, it will impede your progress. Get in there and do the heart work. Your heart is your connection to Source, and the connection must be tended to with loving care for an optimal life experience. However, you may find that those who came in with you, friends and family, cannot understand your commitment to inner growth, and that your commitment is causing friction, causing you to feel that sense of disconnection and isolation. They may be saying things to you like, why are you so wrapped up in all of this spiritual? Or I don't want to hear about the angels anymore. Or can we talk about something else? That's because this is a different kind of isolation that may be beneficial. Before you pull away or become angry with friends and family, you must ask yourself, am I able to maintain this relationship and grow? You're not asking if you can get others to meet your every need. You're asking the divine if this relationship will support your growth. This doesn't necessarily mean flowers and candy. Growth is not always a smooth ride to the top. It's an efficient rise to the top. And if that means you must fall before you rise, you will fall and be better for it. As I said earlier, I think we've all fallen further than we ever believed was possible, but we're also seeing ourselves rise higher than we ever believed we could. So when you're in relationships with friends and family that are beginning to really push a lot of buttons, it doesn't necessarily mean it's time to run away. It is time to begin asking some insightful questions. Am I able to maintain this relationship and grow? If the people you're around are asking you to stay small, to stop exploring, and they are actively trying to stop you from your growth or keep you defeated so that you will feel that you're unable to grow, you may need to put some distance between you and those people. But if they are forcing you to apply the concepts that you are learning, it's a good relationship. It may not be a lot of fun, but you'll be able to look back and say, look how much I've grown. In other words, you're not asking, will this person treat me with loving kindness? You're asking, will they help me grow? Oftentimes, you will find that people are phased out of your life after a period of time. This merely indicates that the relationship no longer supports personal growth or the highest good for all. Remember, we can bring our angels in to help us. So when you're asking these questions, will they help me grow? Or you begin to feel distance or feel that they are no longer interested in being in your company, just ask, are we separating for a reason, or should I put more energy into this relationship? Ask for guidance. At the moment, while you're experiencing such a tremendous influx of high vibrational energy, you may find that many drop away. Remember, no one is held back from ascending, and no one is pushed past their point of agreement. You cannot go faster than you have agreed to go. You also cannot go slower than you have agreed to go, or higher or lower. But if you choose to ascend faster and hold longer the higher vibrational frequencies of love, joy, and peace, you'll be a poor match and incompatible with those in a lower energetic space. So they will naturally begin stepping back, feeling uncomfortable around you, and looking for people that make them feel better, more comfortable, more at home or at ease. They can choose to join you by rising, or you can join them by falling. But energy of different levels doesn't harmonize. So remember, if you want to join them, and they're at that low level of fear and confusion and anxiety, the way to join them is to embrace fear, anxiety, and confusion. I wouldn't recommend it. Stay in your high place of love, joy, and peace and encourage them to join you. Some will, some won't. It's not your choice. Therefore, when you feel that you've been pulled from the comfort of friends and family, recognize it's your choice and it's not punishment. By choosing to vibrate higher, you may have placed yourself temporarily out of reach. Vibrate higher anyway. Spend your time deepening your connection with the divine, and if you feel lonely, dig into your heart. Reach inside to feel the warmth, acceptance, and wisdom that is the divine. The fix, the answer alluded to earlier, is always the same. The question, the why, may vary, but the solution will always be to return to Source, to become more wedded to the energy of unconditional love, and to open yourself more fully to divine interaction and intervention. Now, I know that's not the answer many of you were seeking, but we must learn to love solitude, our own company, and interacting with the divine. Otherwise, our life will always be a series of dependencies. Learn to cultivate the joy of your own company. You are not alone. It's impossible for you to disconnect from Source or the energy collective. So when you're feeling disconnected or isolated, do not reach out to distractions. Reach within to truth, to compassion, to unconditional love, and pour your energy of discontent into creating a channel of communication between you and the divine. Anchor yourself in the unwavering strength of love and ask for divine guidance so your life moves forward into your highest good. Don't run away looking to escape. Dive deep into the heart, secure in the truth that this is the way. It's the only way is through the heart. It is the absolute most important thing that you can do for yourself. So let's take a look at all that they've shared with us. And before I forget, I just want to go over what we are experiencing energetically right now. We have 5 planets in retrograde, and it's not, oh no, my life is going to be turned upside down. It is a deepening of who we are spiritually. But this is what you can expect to be addressing in the upcoming months. Always emotional expression. How do you choose to address a situation that may have been stressful for you in the past? Where are you tuned in emotionally? Are you going to fall apart? Are you going to cry? Are you going to make others responsible? Or are you going to step up to the plate and be mature? We're also looking at change and growth. Growth doesn't happen without change. So expect that there will be changes. Some of them will feel great. Some of them will feel challenging. It's part of growth. We're also going to be addressing our karmic energy exchange. In other words, what we do unto others is what we will receive. You may see that speeded up or intensified to some degree. If you are with some people that have a history of not being very kind, you may see that they will experience some of that in their own lives. Conversely, those who have always treated others with kindness or who make a habit of that and haven't really seen a whole lot of evidence coming back to them of that kindness expressed, will begin seeing that people may go out of their way for them. We're also going to be addressing intuition and creativity. So you may have a new influx of ideas, of things that you would like to do. It doesn't necessarily have to mean something that you would like to do as a business. It can be some new hobby that you pick up or something that you do that expresses your creativity in some way. We are also looking at transformation of the subconscious. Those of you who have worked with me, either through a class or one-on-one, know that that's what our work centers on. The transformation of the subconscious by addressing the heart, because the heart rules the subconscious mind. So get into the heart, do the heart work, and you will see that your life is going to unfold in new and glorious ways. Because the heart is the gateway to your divine connection and to a life that is filled with divine expression, your own creative expression, magnified as you connect with the divine, because you're going to be that much more powerful. So it's like you on steroids, but the good kind. Okay, so again, loneliness is rampant. I get it. So many families are dissolving. And so what's happening? If you can't rely on your family, those people who you thought were closest to you, that you could depend on, that you could just say to yourself, okay, if I've got my family, I'm all right. And now you kind of look around and they're taking a powder. It's okay. That family that you came in with may have been wonderfully supportive or not supportive at all. And if they are beginning to disappear now, it is because they have fulfilled the purpose they needed to fulfill in your life, and you will begin attracting what many call your tribe. They are the people that you have the closest spiritual connection to, and they will help you, the tribe, will help you grow through this next phase of your journey. Because we can define family as your biological family or your unit, or your, and by biological I'm going to include by marriage, by adoption, by any loose term of family, but people who call themselves family, whether or what not there is a blood connection. It can be any kind of variation on the family unit. But they are really a group of people who agreed before you came into this lifetime to share a common bond and to act as your teachers, just as you agreed to act as theirs. So it used to be, when we were in competitive mind, that it would be sort of your family versus the world. It was family versus them, or anybody that was trying to come against you. And that model worked pretty well when we were in competitive society. And we've been in that competitive mind for a long time. But as the world changes, so does the family unit. We're moving from that competitive world that didn't always require you to be responsible. You could drop it off and blame someone else. And we're going into cooperation that demands responsibility for thoughts and deeds. And so you need a different kind of family or tribe that will help you in a loving way begin to learn how to take responsibility. Remember, heaven, or the spiritual realm, is much more accessible. We're much more aware of the energetic realm. And therefore, more personal truth is being demanded from us. It's very difficult in this new energy, with the amount of teaching that's out there now, to say, oh, I didn't know any better. You can do it, but it's not going to have very many pleasant consequences if you did indeed know better. Because That's not what this era is about. That's not why you came forth. You didn't come forth to hide and play small. You came forth to be your authentic self. So as you begin separating from friends and family, don't get hooked on I'm being punished. That's sort of where we begin. So many of the people that I work with, am I being punished? Did I do something wrong? No one seems to like me anymore. I can't quite communicate with my family the way I used to. I'm so lonely. You need to dig deeper because you're being asked to go within and broaden your divine communication channel. One of the reasons these people are being taken away is because they may be distractions. They may be stopping you from doing the work that you need to do at this time to widen and deepen your communication with the divine. This is not a forever separation or state of loneliness. As you begin stabilizing your vibration in the higher realm of love, joy, and peace, new people might come in who are also in that vibration, that high vibration to support you. And family members may choose to elevate as well, and they will be brought back into your life. But either way, you're going to be okay. First of all, you're never alone. We know that. And remember that God welcomes everyone. And everyone is a part of God. So no one can be excluded based on past performance. Every day is a new day. And it's a day to choose to raise your vibration. While we're exploring the less healed and evolved parts of ourselves, we've got to be sure, especially in this energy, when we're looking at emotional expression, at change and growth and transformation, anchor firmly to the divine. They already told us, if you're out flopping in the breeze, you may begin experiencing moments of paranoia. Anchor firmly to the divine through the heart space. The universal mind holds a true picture of each one of us. It's a picture that we can't see. It's the complete whole instead of the broken bits. Remember, we get caught up in our, I'll never get past this lesson or this whatever. The universal mind sees us in our glory. They may scratch their head and say, what are you going on about? That's such a tiny piece of you. Please attach to the big that you are. But they won't desert us. They'll keep sending us loving energy to say, hey, get on board. Look at all that you are. See yourself as we see you. As we heal, we must choose the divine's version of ourselves if we want to progress. Because if we cling to those broken bits, we might run away. We might run away from them with our destructive habits or mind-numbing escapes. We've all done it. We're all guilty of it. Now let it go. Don't stay there. Because the result of escaping will be an eventual awakening to the trap that you've created by running. Sometimes when we wake up, we realize we're in a prison. And that prison is one we created all by ourselves. And then we have to learn how to open the door. It should be easy, but often we have a lot of resistance. If you're in a dark place, I want you to reach out and get the help you need. There are teachers everywhere. You may contact me. You can work with me one-on-one. You can take one of my classes. We're going to start doing group counseling as well. But get the help you need. Find the light. Don't ignore where you are. I needed help when I first started. I couldn't find the light switch. Or if the light had been turned on, I would not have been able to see it because of the depth of the darkness that I was in. So don't try to distract yourself hoping it'll go away or miraculously resolve itself. That was my mantra. It's all going to take care of itself because I'm such a good person. I'm so loving. Of course this is going to work out. That was a nice thing to think. It was certainly better than I'm cursed and God hates me. But I still had to take responsibility for the bad attitude that got me where I was, the limiting beliefs that were holding me stuck, and unhealed trauma that I had just said, oh, it's over and it's gone. If you're feeling it, you can heal it. You wouldn't be feeling it, be expressing it, or hurting from it if you couldn't heal it. Remember, there are going to be different causes for your feelings of isolation and loneliness. For many, it can be ongoing since birth. You could feel like the black sheep, the odd man out, the one that's not quite right. But it doesn't really matter why you're feeling it. And often if you're feeling some of these things from birth, it's because you need to go deeper. You brought this deep sensitivity in with you because it's part of your purpose. So you need to learn how to use it. No matter what propels you to begin searching for meaning and connection, you must begin the search. The deep sensitivity that you brought in may have been just the catalyst you needed in order to begin the searching. The solution, remember, will never change. No matter what started you on your journey or what is propelling you forward, the solution is always to go deeper and to open more fully to the divine. Everything you could ever want is within the divine mind that you are already a part of. You will not become less. You will not lose your individuality. You will become more and learn how to express who you are. You will become more dynamic, not less, not smaller, bigger, 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 bigger than you ever believed you could be. So learn to embrace the growth even when it's unpleasant. Stop resisting because it's our resistance that's causing the pain and not the experience itself. When we put conditions or limitations on our lives, we invite resistance and we slow down the growth. I guarantee you, if you look back on every moment of pain in your life, you will be able to find, if you're being honest, a moment of resistance, a time when you said, oh no, when you dug your heels in and you said, no way. And then there will probably be a time when you finally said, okay, I give up. And that's when things started moving forward for you because you finally stepped out of resistance. Do it the easy way and stay out of resistance. It's so important because you can't be held back or pushed beyond the place you have agreed to accept. understand how powerful you are. Nobody, and this is including God, who is the infinite power, God has gifted to you free will. And that means that even God cannot ask you to go beyond the place that you have agreed to go. So you will not grow beyond what you're agreeing to grow, beyond the amount that you're agreeing to grow. You will not fall further than you have agreed to fall. Change your agreements. Change your agreements and say yes to the divine. I want to grow as far as I can grow. I trust you. It's worth it. Because if you want to change where you are right now, you must change the agreements that you are making with yourself and change the conversation you are having about yourself. You hold the power over your life. No one is more powerful than you are. No one. You are the most powerful person on this earth. Not even God can step in and do something to you that you did not agree to experience. That is how powerful you are. Stop giving away your power. Don't give it to anyone who treats you with any form of abuse. Simply walk away. Take your power back. Cut them off. Say, I deserve to be loved, respected, and adored. And you do, and so do they. Take your power back. If you need help with that, I have a class. When you pull back your power, when you take responsibility for your life, you will begin prospering in every area of your life. When you're like a leaky sieve and you're giving you permissions and agreements to everyone, you do not grow and prosper. So I want you to take your power back. All right, I've got some stories for you, but before we go into the stories, I just want to know, *2, to raise your hand. Any questions or anybody want to share with us what they're experiencing in terms of loneliness and how what are you going to do to fix it? There's only one fix. Okay, I have someone in Irving, Texas. Go ahead, Irving, Texas.
Good morning and good afternoon. Happy evening, day, sunrise to all. And beautiful day, Marcia Martin. Much love. I love you a ton.
Hi,
everyone there else.
So I know that you are someone who was going through that experience, and I'm not telling tales out of school, but you were having a tough time with the family issue and the loneliness. So can you share with us what it was like when you started really connecting with the divine?
Yeah, so it's much love too, and God's love and special blessings, especially on you, Marcia, and your heritage and your ancestral heritage. Much love to your spiritual family, and I'm really grateful for the phone call today. And actually, you do really incredible, outstanding work, and I really appreciate you a lot.
Oh, thank you.
And will never ever be forgotten, your kindness, and just finding the spirit family and finding the spirit tribe and finding all of us that are like-minded, like-souled, and interested and like interest, kind of best interest. What I'm finding right now is besides this beautiful and wonderful call and day and everything beautiful that's ahead is that a really incredible statement that touches me is that is when we say kind of nothing is for, like, no bad circumstance is forever, and except for the only one circumstance that is forever is hope, and I've always known that, and I've been to some counselors before in the past, and so participation. I mean, to answer your question, participation is to get up and is to do something, and is number one, is key, and just knowing. I mean, everything too that you said is like, it's all right. I mean, it's all. It's I believe it's all true. I mean, to me, it's all true. It resonates and makes sense to me. Is all true. Is that God? You're not going to lose yourself. You will not lose your mind. You will not lose your identity. You will not lose the most important parts of you that are the most valuable and that deserve the love and that deserve more and that deserve better and that deserve to be valued and to deserve to be recognized and deserve to be seen and deserve to be freaking valued. Like it's like you have my comparison and analogy to what I have experienced and what I am coming through by the grace of God and the beauty of Mother Nature and stars in the sky and planets and times and winds that blow is number one. Is that there's so much that happens in some ways around me that I'm not responsible for, and so I'm just going beyond that and knowing and believing, actually in how powerful that I am, and each one of us that has this, and it is the same. I believe that for us that are interested, and it is, this is very real and true. And there, of course, I'm reiterating much, but there's a ton that has, our old families don't want to see and recognize. And I think where I fell and what hurt was I kept going to my family, my human family in a way, like my family of origin, like my dad, one of my stepsister, just realizing, well, they just don't care. They just don't give a shit about me. Pardon my French. It's not French.
But hang on just a
people
second.
on the phone call. But
hold on,
yeah.
Doug.
Well, okay.
It's not that they don't care. It's that you're moving yourself into a different vibration, and you are no longer able to connect, and it feels as though to them that you don't care, and it feels to you as though they don't care because you have no joining point. So let me share with you. I'm going to...
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we've got another question, so hang on just a sec. Tina, go ahead.
Oh, hello. Good morning, everybody. How you all doing? Love you all. Love and blessings to all of you. I want to just say, Marcia, you're so amazing. And I just want to say everything's great. Everything you said just hit to my heart. And everything that, I forgot his name, but he said everything so like on the head. Because it's like, you go to the depths of darkness, and I barely came out of it this week. And being, talking to you and really listening to what you said, Marcia, was to sit. I had to sit by myself, and I had a breakthrough. And it takes time. I think it's going on 3 years now. It took 3 years that you've been working with me, Marcia, and it's been amazing because I'm seeing the light. And as what the other caller said, yes, our family is not there. They are just our human form family, and it took a lot of time to get away from them because the love we have that we just want to spill over on them that they don't want. And we found our tribe, we found the people on your group we are all our family because we come from the origin of love and the abundance of love we have to share. And oh my God, what he just shared was just like I connected with him because I was like, man, where is this family? And there it is. It's on your group because my family doesn't think this way. They think a different way. And I'm not judging. I love them still. But when you have no connection to them, it's like you just keep spilling this love and this abundance of love you want to give to them, and they just don't want it, and they're shutting the door, and we take it offensively. But I understand that's all right because it got us to where we're at now, and I believe it's to the tribe of where you're at, the group you're giving freely, Marcia, is amazing because I feel like this is the tribe. And I just want to say thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
Thank you to the other caller because he is amazing. Oh, my God. He just radiates just the light of love, too. And, oh, my God, I love him. He's amazing.
Aw.
And
okay.
you are, too.
Oh, thanks, honey. And so Tina is referring to our Facebook group, which is Heal Our Hearts. So please, if you are on Facebook and are interested in a group that is sharing unconditional love, look at request to join our group. And she's making a really good point, as Doug did too. We've got to understand that our families, biological or however the unit that we have called family, is just here to teach us. They're not necessarily here to go on the entire journey with us, and we need to stop judging them. They are where they are and where they need to be, and we are where we are and where we need to be. So if you get a lot of pushback from your family, might be a good idea just to lighten up a little and perhaps look within our group, our Facebook group, or look within a group of like-minded people to share what you're learning. And perhaps don't be so insistent on sharing in the family unit if you're getting a lot of weird looks and making others uncomfortable. We do have the group. You can share to your heart's content in the group and ask questions. If your family is feeling very uncomfortable with what you're sharing, or they're using it to belittle you, let's look for a source that can support you. Now, before we go, I want to share something that happened to me as I sat down to do this channeling, because it has never happened before, and it was so, I can't even come up with the right word. It was so cool to show us, all of us, what happens when we isolate ourselves from God or when we try to. So when I receive the channeling, depending on who is working with me, which one of my helpers, I will feel the energy in different areas around the crown. When I am channeling these particular blog posts, it is always a group energy that is off to the right a little bit, right of center. So I began feeling that energy that I always feel whenever I sit down to do a blog post in the meditation prior. And then I realized, wow, this feeling is really intensifying, which it has never done before. And it kept, the tingling kept increasing and intensifying until it had completely split my body in two. So it went from head all the way to the bottom of my feet. One side of my body was tingling and very aware of energy, and the other side was like a vacant lot. Nothing happening on that side. And so I kept waiting for the rest of my body to, come on, come alive, get on board here. What's happening? How come only half of you is willing to accept the energy? So when nothing happened and the tingling just kept getting more intense and increasing, I finally went to my helpers and said, hey, what's going on? And the God response was, this is what you're doing when you are isolating yourselves from me, when you're trying to cut yourselves off from me. You are in a wasteland. I'm on one side with all of this incredible energy and this connection and all of these answers, and you're on the other side and you're in the desert. You can feel nothing. You can do nothing. You can get nothing. There's no help available. So then they gave me the image of being in a limousine, and there's a privacy partition that can go up. And they said, lower the partition as though you're in that limousine. So I began lowering the partition between the two halves of my body. And it wasn't like floodwaters rushing in. The energy very slowly and calmly, but very consistently, began to move over into the other side of my body. And again, I went back to God and said, hey, how come there's not, I expected it to be rushing in like the ocean, waves meeting the shore. And God said, it's a process. If you expect me to come in and take over your life, it will never happen. You must continuously increase your vibration so you can be where I am. You can meet me in the place where it all happens, which is the high vibration of love, joy, and peace. I will give you little boosts to help you get there. But I'm not going to rush in and do it for you, because then you would be helpless, have learned nothing, and you would be dependent on me. So I'm going to teach you how to climb the ladder so that you will always be able to join me in the high place. So that's what we need to remember. God loves us so much that they will not do it for us. When I sat down to write the blog, I wrote for about a page, and then I started saying, oh my gosh, I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I was getting up to do stupid things. Up and down, out of my chair. I was like, what's going on? This never happens. I hate this feeling. Again, it was showing me what happens when we disconnect. When we are isolated, we're not in the flow. I was in resistance. Suddenly, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to get up and fill the cat's water bowl. And then I wanted to water my plants. And then stupid things that didn't need to be done right then. Complete distractions. Because I was in resistance for the purpose of learning what they wanted to teach us, so I could be a better teacher to all of you. As soon as I took a breath and said, I get it, I'm resisting. I see how hard it is to get anything accomplished while I'm resisting. So I surrender to the flow. And then I finished channeling the blog post, and I handwrite these. So I have to sit. It's not spoken into a device so that I could walk around. I have to sit and really allow the energy to flow. Or perhaps stand. I could stand if I had a place to write. But I've got to be there and not try to be 25 other places. That's what God wants us to understand. When you are having your God moment, and you need to have God moments throughout your day, be there. No distractions. Turn them off. They force you into a state of resistance. So open your heart, receive, and be there fully. And now we're done. Our time is gone. So, as always, I love you. My classes are on my website, Marcia, M-A-R-C-A-C-I-A, Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com. If you want to send me a message, it's Marcia at marciamartinthehearthealer.com. Also, if you would like to get on our mailing list so that you will be inspired on a daily basis, send me an email, Marcia at marciamartinthehearthealer.com, or sign up on my website. I welcome you all. I am working on that class I told you about money, but I don't teach it until I really feel that I can do the best presentation possible, that I can really dig in and get you the most healing. So bear with me as I am learning from my helpers, and I am learning from my own daily experience so that I can be the best support and the best teacher for you. All right, everyone. Until next Wednesday, I'm sending you my love.